Welcome back. Today we're gonna build this entire vehicle made by Trumpeter. You may notice that box art says SA-6 Gainful, but shouldn't it be SA-6 Gainful? Yes, there is an error on the box. The correct name of this vehicle is 2K12 KUB. As you can see, I got dedicated Edward photo etch kit, and that was my biggest mistake. Don't get me wrong, Edward parts are great, but if you are ADHD like me, it will drain your soul. Trumpeter gives couple painting options, and of course we'll proceed with polish one. Inside there are nothing extra fancy, just typical normal Trumpeter sprues. Tracks are made of pre-connected strips and singular links to wrap around drive sprocket. Instruction manual. If you've seen one Trumpeter manual, then you've seen all of them. Simple photo etch sheet and lower and upper hole. Decals of typical Trumpeter quality. It's nice they've included polish markings, so we do not have to buy them separately. Edward photo etch parts. They give 3 plates with various parts. Installing them include modifying Trumpeter parts or straight up removing them completely. After this build I'm sick and tired of photo etch parts, so please only buy them if you are 100% sure and you are some zen master of patience. These parts easily doubles the time you need to spend on whole model. On previous videos I've said that I want to improve with building photo etch parts, that's why I got this kit. But now I think it was too much for me. Nonetheless, let's start with suspension and wheels. Working with plastic is so much fun. And we have first photo etch part, some kind of thing on the lower hole. It's made from bend strip with 3 different parts attached. So I started bending and gluing until the part took shape. While CA glue was curing, I've discovered that hole have Trumpeter logo imprinted inside. Interesting, most their kits do not have such feature. Let's take a look on the fenders or these stowage compartments. Those are big parts that will be made entirely from metal. I cut it out of the metal sheet and then use pen to press it along the groove to form proper dent in the sheets. Now it's time to bend it into the shape. It's starting to look properly, so it's time to add doors, hinges and locks. Yes, the door is this double square with hole wrapped around smaller square sheet. Gluing it is harder than it looks. It's dirty with glue, so I need to clean it up with rozklejacz. Rozklejacz worked, but it worked too good. Not only the excess glue came out, but also the doors and hinges came off the model, meaning that I will have to repeat the whole process. But at least you can take a look how I'm mounting this belt. But not all parts were such a mental gymnastics, for example the viewing ports. First step was to remove the original detail from the parts. Then the photo edge part was prepared and bent into shape. And lastly, the windshield wipers were mounted. Word of wisdom after the build: try to keep the build part tidy, you will have less things to clean up later, and working with CA glue is always dirty in my case. And the build continues. Slow and steady I am completing part after part, growing impatient with every single bent metal sheet. But I guess this is my way of improving my character and learning the patience. I hope that in a couple years I will grow up and become calm, so photo edge parts will be something to enjoy, not endure. In the meantime, I want to make the tracks ready. As I said earlier, those are the tracks that come pre-connected in single piece, so it's easier and quicker to build. Track rig is highly recommended for this type of tracks. For example, I'm using one made from Chinesium. After lining them up, I glue them, wait a bit, and wrap them around the wheels. No matter how much I've tried, the recommended by Trumpeter track length is just one link too long. I recommend using one less link here. Or maybe you're capable of making the tracks extra saggy to fit all the links. Speaking of sagginess, I've stuffed some tissues under the fender, so the pressure will make the tracks cure into proper shape. I've decided that the wood beam will not be mounted onto the vehicle. Wood beam provided by Trumpeter was simply ugly. So I took the chains that will be used to attach wood beam and bent them into a sagged shape, so it hangs freely. The turret, or rather launcher, is much simpler to build. You just have couple big parts to fit together. It even bends, so you can aim your missiles however you want. As we can see in the manual, Mr. Trumpeter wants us to combine plastic tubing with ball pen spring and attach it to the model. So I'm gonna do just that. I combine plastic tubing with ball pen spring and attach it to the model. You can already see the finish line of the building process. This is how model presents itself right now. Only thing lacking are the missiles. Missiles, as usually all long parts built from two halves, do not fit together perfectly, so it gets treatment with putty and a lot of sanding. Now check this out. EMP model road priority signs. No Polish vehicle can go without it. You may ask, what even is this? Well, Polish military vehicles have these road priority signs. It's little orange and red triangle. It is used to mark columns, so first vehicle in column should be marked with orange triangle and last one with red triangle. In practice, all vehicles have orange on front and red in rear. EMP signs are nicely printed and they offer a couple types of mounting brackets, so we can attach it to every single vehicles we want. Small detail, but it's necessary for Polish vehicles. Next, I decided to add some epoxy putty tar to the vehicle. It will be a bright, contrasting details on the front of the vehicle, so finished model will have something eye-catching, as well as it will hide damaged part of the fender because I broke one latch and lost it under the desk. Okay, painting. So model was washed and degreased, then metal primer on metal parts, and then standard Mr. Hobby black primer. With the model primed, I will be painting it in standard Polish camo, so typical NATO colors. I will be using these paints as well as these brighter colors to lighten up the base colors. And also this time I'll try leveling thinner instead of Tamiya thinner. So for the reference, I've been mixing the paints just as they were standing on each other. Green and brown ones were mixed 50-50 with corresponding lighter color, and black one was mixed in 80-20 ratio. Camo was of course sprayed by hand, bringing the aerograph close to the model and using low pressure. Sprayed by hand because I couldn't be bothered enough to mask it. Then base colors were post-shaded using even brighter colors like 25-75 ratio for green and brown and 50-50 ratio for black paint. Then it was time for missiles, so I decided to simply paint it dark green with bright tips and yellow stripes. Due to nature of yellow paint and its poor coverage, the stripes first needs to be painted white and then yellow. Then I mask the stripes and tips and proceed to paint the missiles green. And the missiles are done. Next it's layer of gloss varnish and time for decals. Decals are as usual mounted with help of Tamiya Mark Set liquid. After drying they are sealed with another coat of gloss varnish. Now it's time for chipping, because why have a nice model when you can have beaten up rust bucket? Standard procedure: very light color applied with sponge and then dark rust metal chips inside. It takes time to chip the whole model, but I like it very much and it's one of the most fun I have in painting. Now to the enamels. This time I'll try to be more focused, so I will not make the same mistake I did with ATP Tractor. I apply small amounts of paint and then blend it with enamel thinner around the vehicle. The effect is subtle and gives a discoloration and faded color. So, after all this mental gymnastics, the model looks like this. I think it looks cool, so I'm happy with the result. But now, to make it actually rusty, I will enhance the rust chipping with enamel rust. This is the same technique I've been showing you in previous videos, simply because I like it so much. Slap the paint over the rust chips, give it a minute and then blend it with enamel thinner. More thinner equals less rust, less thinner equals more rust. I also decided to add some streaking grime, because why not? Now, the road priority sign. First it was primed, then the outside was painted white. Next step was to paint inside with chrome silver to add reflectiveness. Next it was painted with clear red. And lastly, inside of the triangle was painted black. And it's ready. Same thing with orange one on the front. For the tarps I decided to try making a speed paint. Speed paint or contrast paint is something I've learned from Warhammer guys who paint minifigures. It is basically semi-transparent paint with low surface tension. By mixing red AK paint with water and AK's glaze medium, as well as couple drops of flow improver, I've made something similar to typical contrast paint. I've slapped it onto the tarp and that's it. No need to add anything more. Paint is brighter on exposed areas and darker in recesses. Of course, first you need to have a black-white zenithal lighting to the object you want to paint with contrast paint technique. After having everything painted, it was time for pin wash. I'll use premixed Tamiya brown one. Same drill as before, paint it and remove excess with enamel thinner. After pin wash, I sealed everything in matte varnish. Then I applied dust and mud, but I'll skip it because I haven't done anything different than I did in previous videos. Instead, we will watch how I did a stand for the vehicle. I took this cork round disc thingy and I drew how road should go. Then I cut the styrofoam to make elevation. Terrain was glued together and left for glue to cure. After the glue cured, I've covered the terrain with AK light terrain acrylic paste. It has nice grain and texture, so it will do just fine for sandy forest road. Then I've planted some taller grass and other vegetation in a random pattern. Even though these plants have some adhesive, I've secured them with PVA glue. Then I've covered the ground with diluted PVA glue to prepare it for the static grass. Static grass covered the whole area. I've blown away all the excess grass with pressure air and then covered the grass with black primer, because it's only logical to paint green grass with green paint. I've painted grass with olive drab, dark green paint and then lighter tones to add highlights. I decided to paint sand in sand colors as well. After that I was ready to plant a drzewo. But first I have to make a drzewo. Before I continue, check out the Model Addict channel. He posted a fantastic tutorial on how to make trees, so I decided to give it a try. So I've bent the wires into a rough shape of the tree and secured it by wrapping the wire around. After the shape was ready, I've covered it with clay, the type that hardens by contact with air. After that, the tree was covered in mixture of tamia putty and baking powder. After it dried, it was possible to scribble a bark texture. Next, the tree crown was formed by attaching cut seafoam with help of CA glue and CA activator. I've kept adding seafoam until I was satisfied with volume. Then it was time for painting, and the painting included priming black, brown base color, lighter brown highlights, even lighter highlights, buff colored dry brush, and dark brown wash at the finish, but I did not record that. Then I've sprinkled the tree twigs with leaves that I've previously dyed in 2 different green shades. I used adhesive in spray for this. And that concludes the tree build. Please go check out Model Addict and his videos. Thanks to him I've built my very first tree, and even if my tree is not the most beautiful, I am very happy for what it is. So, that is the finished model. It was a very long time since I posted a video. I've got caught up with work and had to leave on business trip. Also, the tree took me by surprise because I didn't have planned any stand with tree for this model. I've just recently found the video by Model Addict and was like, hey, I can do it too. As for the model, yeah, big photo etch parts are way too tiring for me. It was way too laborious, I've literally felt my enthusiasm wither away. Therefore, this model is not my prettiest work and I still have very much to learn. But still, the experience is worth it. I've had planned an Ukrainian BMP3 by Trumpeter with Voyager photo etch kit, but yeah, I leave it in my stash until I've regained my strength and get some more confidence with my CA glue skills. Next will probably be some classic German tanks, as I've been itching to do something other than Trumpeter's Soviet junks I usually build. We will see. So, see you soon.